Auction time. This is the 40 series auction, 4001. This is a refined, what I call a refined biface, which means it's thinned, sharpened, and all the defects are removed from the surface as far as I can manage. So yeah, it doesn't have to be notched, but you can notch it, you can reshape it, and you can, or make a knife blade out of it. You could take a little notch out of the side here and haft it like a modern knife, or you can haft it just as is. Okay. So that's it. This one is a raw piece of Texas chert. I believe it is raw. Okay. It feels raw around the edges. Okay. 4 3/8 by 2 1/4. Okay, I've got a few items. I don't have that many for this auction, but I got a few. 4002. This is a raw Texas chert that I did on video. Chert point that I did on video. And I used a notch-o-matic on the notches. Okay, so you can see the whole thing on video. Not much more to say. Just a translucent Texas chert, very similar to the previous type. It's all Edwards Plateau type stuff. Yeah, this one worked out rather well. Okay. Alright, so that's it for the points. I just got boxes now. 4003. This is a box of broken bifaces. This is a piece of Flint Ridge heat treat that I broke in 3 pieces because of a defect. That crystal pocket right in the center. You couldn't see it from either side when I started to reduce this down. It was given to me as a biface. And as I was thinning it, I noticed there was a little bit of quartzite in the metal, but then it became bigger and bigger and bigger, and then I think I was trying to get rid of this little defect. It's an existing crack, you know, and when you flake into an existing crack, it'll expose it, and I was trying to remove it, I think, with a hit from this side, and it just broke the whole thing. All right. This one is a heat treat, 400 degrees for 4 hours. It broke first, and then I heat treated it, so it should be very workable. This one is raw. If it does not say heat treat, then it's raw. And I've got bunches of these little root beer looking type cherts. That one's not Texas. Let me see. Some of these have the top and bottom, and some of them don't. This one has a top and bottom, but some of them do not. Okay, that one's 3 5/8. Just to give you an idea, my hands are small, so these are going to look bigger than they actually are. This is 2 3/4, 4 1/4. By like 2 5/8. I think the rest, no, let me see. Hold on. I was going to say the rest are obsidian, but nope. I got 2 more Texas in here. I've got heat treat. This is a high grade heat treat. It didn't gloss up all that much. I think I took a couple flakes off this morning. Yeah. I took a flake off here and here just to test it out, make sure it wasn't fire popped or anything. So it's a high grade heat treat, even though it doesn't look all that glossy. This is a raw, I believe, although it could be a heat treat, but I believe this is a raw piece. And like I said, I don't think all of these have their 2 parts. This one does. Okay. All right. So what you can do on some of these is you can heat treat one of them. I recommend 350, no higher than 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And you can nap one and then nap the other and see what you like better, heat treat or raw. It's the same stone, so it gives you a good comparison. These are, let's see, these are hornstone breaks or brokes. Yeah, hornstone brokes. This is a lower grade of hornstone. It's not the high grade stuff. Okay, but it gives you an idea of what the lower grade hornstone looks like or naps like. You can mess around with that. This one, I was working on the flaking and I encountered a steppy area, so I would have to just do too much damage control on that and lose too much width, so I didn't even mess with it. But, you know, you can still use it as is or remove that. This is Georgetown, I believe. Let's see. Well, how long is it? I think this is raw Georgetown. Little over 3.5. Yeah. Okay, so those are the cherts and stuff. Did I mention the Flint Ridge is heat treated? I don't know. Okay, these are all obsidian pieces. This is high grade smoky obsidian. I'm including that in this because I don't really like knapping this all that much. I think I might have done this on video actually. I don't like knapping this all that much because of the waste flakes. They get everywhere, and I don't like taking the chance that one of these is going to end up in my foot or in my eye, because these flakes will fly and I can't see them. If I get them anywhere, if they get stuck inside my skin, I can't see them to get them out. I got to dig around and hear the little click, and then I can get it out. With other darker obsidian like the dacite, this is gray dacite, this is black, gray butter and black butter. I can see these flakes if they get embedded, but these I cannot. But so I'm just including that just in case you're wondering why I would include such a high grade, absolutely flawless, it looks like, piece of obsidian. It's because of the waste flakes. It's a lot like modern glass, which I also do not like to nap that much. Okay, so not because of the nappability, but because of the hazard. All right. This is a piece of black butter dacite, but it has these little imperfections, and I think I messed this one up because I was striking the base. I think it's called end snap, when you hit the base and the tip pops off. So it is snap and halfish. This is a high grade gray butter dacite that I didn't have a chance to finish. These three are knife blades that I started before I went on my hunting trip, but never got to finish. So I'm including these in the brokes and bifaces, although there's not much wrong with these. There is some weirdness in this, but I napped through it, so it wasn't too bad. It's got some kind of inclusion right there. It's a healed crack. Because I napped everywhere around it, and it doesn't seem to be something that will open up and snap the whole thing in half. Although there is a weakness to it, so I wouldn't go any thinner. I would just sharpen it around the edges and shape it. I wouldn't try to go much thinner except maybe on the tip here, because if you go thinner in this area, it may have a defect somewhere along in here and that we don't know about. They could snap the whole thing in half. So yeah, I would thin the tip probably, but I would just finish most of it out with pressure. It's black butter dacite. Okay. But it's not flawless. It's got some defects. This one napped really easily. I just did not have time to finish it. What's the size? Good question. A little over 4 1/4. This is 5 1/4. This one is 4 3/4. Also black butter dacite, but it has an inclusion there. I usually nap through those inclusions, you know. And if it doesn't nap out, I'll just leave it in. Everything else should be okay. But you never know. There could be an inclusion in a thick spot somewhere. But I would not thin it down too much on this side, just near the tip. Alright, that's it for that box. $4004. This is a box of 4 bifaces that have been thinned but not sharpened and not fully refined. They're not fully refined. They're just, you know, thinned bifaces. This is a black butter dacite, but it has a little bit of texture to it as far as the banding. It has slight banding to it, and it's not jet black. It's like a dark charcoal gray. Naps very well. Yeah, I was going to make points out of these, but my hunting trip took up all my time, so I barely got around to assembling all this stuff this morning. This is a heat treat, 390 degrees, heated by Jeff Head, the rock seller, Jeff Head. He does a good job on the heat treat. I just thinned it down. No, I didn't go much thinner than this because sometimes this is snappy, you know, snap in half-ish when it's heat treated. But it can go much thinner, yeah. What's the size? I keep forgetting. Let's see. This one is 4 1/4. This one is 4 1/2 by 2 5/8. This one is 2 3/8. This one I thinned down but didn't finish. There is a gouge out, or I don't know what you call that. An excessively deep flake right there. But other than that, I managed to get out all the surface imperfections. There's a little bit of a spot right there that might... Oh, you don't have to thin it down any more than this, but if you try to thin it down more, make sure you don't thin too much on that side. Just try to get it from that side. You know what I mean? If you thin this down too much, it might break through this chalky stuff, and then you get a hole in it, and then it's very weak. Okay, this one is 5 1/2 by 2 3/4. I can't remember if this is a heat treat or not. If it is, it's a low heat treat, like 345 degrees. If it's not a heat treat, it's a high-grade raw. High-grade raw butterscotch. Yeah, Flint River, Georgia chert, Coastal Plains chert, whichever name you want to call it. These are both the same stuff. Butterscotch, Flint River chert, that kind of thing. This is a Georgetown biface, thinned down but not finely worked. And there's a little bit of a fingernail step fracture there. But yeah, it's thinned down quite a bit. I would just finish this off with pressure flaking. Pressure flakes very well. Very well. 4 5/8 by 2 3/8. Okay. 4 bifaces. Semi-refined. They're just thinned down. So I usually make knives out of those. Okay. $4005. This one is a box. I call this various Texas junk rock, heat treated 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 5 hours. This is my own heat treat. I got a bunch of this stuff at the Knapping that was really difficult to nap in the raw state, but after heat treating, it's pretty good stuff. Yeah, pretty good. I would say mid to high grade. These are all mid grade to high grade. All right, and I don't know exactly if they're consistent all the way through, but I did test all of these this morning. Okay, 4 1/2. Don't ask me what types of chert they are. They're all just Texas junk rock. 4 5 5/8. This one here is very inconsistent, and it's almost impossible to knap in the raw state. It's like a quartzite. It's like trying to knap quartzite. But after heat treating, it worked pretty well. It can probably even go higher than 400. But it is crunchy and chalky and rough here, but it naps well on this side. I mean, you might want to take more of this edge off here to get past this crusty stuff, because it's going to be difficult to thin this down here if you want to keep all that width. But it's up to you. It'll give you an idea of what these little junky rocks will act like after heat treatment. Okay, they all should have 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 5 hours. They all came out of the same batch of heat treat. And this is semi-translucent, and it's all Central Texas stuff. 4 inches. All different kinds. I don't think I have the same type. They're all different types. Okay? About 4 inches. They're all different types of chert. Some of them have more character than others. This one might have some issues because of that. Internal flaws. Hopefully that's the only internal flaw. I tested it and it looks okay. And it naps all right. But it could have some inconsistencies. This is the worst one in here. And then this one here. This one looks consistent, but it's very rough and chalky in some areas. Not chalky, but dry. And it looks chalky, but it's very solid. Nothing, it doesn't rub off on your finger, is what I mean. This one here is much better as far as flaking characteristics, but it has defects. That's why I call it the worst one here, because these defects can mess you up in the final thinning stage. And that's the stage I hate to be messed up in. Yeah. I tested that this morning. Very high grade stuff. 4 1/8. Yeah, this is like this is a lot like the bull gravel stuff. Some of this is bull gravel type chert. This one definitely is similar to bull gravel, although the cortex was like this and not smooth. A lot of bull gravel cortex is smooth and kind of orange, brownish. This one was that limestone-ish looking stuff. All right, 3 5/8. This one here. This one is a high grade stone, okay? However, I don't know what's under the cortex here, so that's the only iffy spot. It looks like this was worse looking than this part. I skinned this off and it was okay. So this one should be okay. So yeah, be gentle with it though, because it could be snap and half-ish, but it naps very easily. Yeah, okay. There's some flakes in that box. I'll remove those before I ship it. Yeah, I was napping over the top of this box just to test everything. I don't know how many chunks are in there, and it's a little bit over full, but I'll get them in there. Okay, that's it. Rules. Let's see, get them in the right order. These are my cheat notes. All right, bid in the comments section under one of my pre-populated comments. This means that you will be replying to one or more of my comments. My pre-populated comments will contain the item number, a timestamp where the item appears in the video, and a short description. I will like your comment if I see it. That's very important. Sometimes comments are not always visible. I might take a while to like your comment, but as the time approaches the end of the auction, I will check more frequently. Try not to bid at the last minute. I'm using YouTube's time tracker, and it's not always accurate. It can be up to 2 minutes off. Please be aware of this. Shipping is free in the U.S. International shipping is discounted but not free. Yeah, I give you guys the same discount as everybody else, depending on what method I use. You know, a first class package, it's called ground now. It averages about $5 or $6. So if I send you something internationally, first class package, I will deduct $5 or $6. Small priority flat rate box is $10.20. There's also a priority bubble package flat rate that's $10.40. If I send it in either one of those, I will subtract $10.40 from, you know, from the actual shipping fee. So it ends up being this after I deduct the discount. Okay? International rates often change. I might need to charge more than this. Yeah, sometimes it's more expensive. What I do is I go to the post office first. I ship it out, whether you know that, you know, we work out the payment later after I go to the post office and ship it out. As far as the shipping goes, I'd never know the shipping amount until I actually go to the post office. I've tried to do it online and figure out by weight and all that, and it's always different. Mine is always different than what they end up with in the post office. So I go to the post office first, find out how much it is, and then I'll tell you, and then I'll discount it. But this gives you an idea how much added cost it is to ship. You know what I mean? If you win, I'll add this much. Okay. I will provide tracking numbers. I accept PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, checks or money orders. I can also email you an electronic invoice that you can pay with a card. Please note, I cannot charge your credit card or debit card on my end. Yeah, that sometimes becomes an issue. I don't have your credit card information on file. It used to be that I could keep your information on file and then charge your card on my end. But PayPal, the PayPal that I use, the PayPal business and the invoices that I use won't let me do that anymore. I cannot charge on my end. It has to come from your end or it doesn't work. Okay, if you want, I'll send you an invoice and then you can pay with a card. I can't send myself that invoice and pay with your card. It doesn't work. It used to work, but it doesn't anymore. Okay? Winners will be announced starting at 9:01 p.m. Eastern Time, which means it's 8 Central, 7 Mountain, or 6 Pacific. Okay? So just pay attention to the time zone that you're in. Let's see. I made a change. I'm going to start all auctions at 3 p.m. Eastern. So it's 3 p.m. Eastern to 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay? That's why this is uploaded a little bit later than usual. I've changed the time where the auctions are starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Okay? Eastern. Yeah, it gives me more time on Mondays in case I'm doing something on the weekends. Okay? Let's see. I will reply to your winning bid with sold, thank you, item number and price. Please email me your address, etc. Yeah, if you're new especially, you got to do this. You got to pay attention to see if you won in the comment section. If you have won, you need to email me with your information so I know who you are and where to send it and how we are going to do the payments. Okay? It's very important if you're new. If you've already done business with me, this is a piece of cake. Okay? All right, these are my cheat notes. There is a better description of the auction in the description box below. Please look at my previous auctions to see how they work. If you are not able to reply or comment, you will not be able to bid. I can enter your bid for you if you email me. So yeah, there's some people that have something wrong with their YouTube interface. So the only way they can bid is if they email me. I can enter your bid if you email me. All right, that's how we get around that issue. And I will enter your bid in the comment section. All right, auction 3J has a demo on how to bid. One of my auctions has a demo in it. I used my tablet, okay, to show you how to bid. You can go look at that auction. All right, hope you liked the items. I hope you had a good weekend, and good luck. Yeah, I went hunting this weekend, so there wasn't many videos, and there's not many items in the auction, but there'll be some more next week. All right? Okay, that's it.